you are a group of 8th graders, a heterogeneous mixed class. There are some special ed kids in here. So with that being said, last time we met there were a few disturbances I wasn't too pleased with, so I just want to go over our rules. Rule number 1, we rehearsed this since the beginning of the year. It's enter silently. You all did that. You got right in your seats. You're ready to go. And you're quiet, so thank you so much for doing that. If you would, just please take one and pass it. Rule number 2, raise your hand. If you have an idea or a thought, or you just want to speak whatsoever, please just, raise your hand. Rule 3, whisper while you work. There is a group activity at the end of the lesson where you will be working together, so please just be quiet about that. Rule 4, when I talk, you stop talking. It's one thing I noticed last time I did not like, so I just wanted to reiterate that, please. And number 5, be kind. We're all here to learn and hopefully do well, and school should be an environment where we can kindly do that together. So enough with the morality lesson, let's get into social studies. For the past few weeks we've been talking about the Civil War, Reconstruction, 13th, 14th Amendments, and also this is a key subject, segregation. So what is segregation? Segregation is the separation of people by race. So you all have note packets. Please just fill in. Thank you. So the powers that be instituted specific laws to keep people of color oppressed. And we've talked about that, otherwise known as Jim Crow. So here's an image. Who's this guy?
Is that Jim Crow?
It's not Jim Crow. Jim Crow is more of an idea instead of an individual.
Oh.
So Jim Crow sort of symbolizes something. Oppression, racism, that sort of thing. Who's this guy back here? Mark?
I do not know.
I guess I'm looking for, maybe you could describe him for me?
He is a man.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's white, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell because of the shadow being cast in his face.
He is white, yeah. So we got a white guy here, a black guy here, and a divider. And then this sign, Andrew, what does that say?
For colored only.
Colored only, yeah. So they not only did they separate something crazy like drinking fountains, but they had bathrooms, housing, schools, all sorts of things. It was a complete and total system of segregation. So, let's get into the history of it. Starting in 1890, we had the Separate Car Act, in which the state of Louisiana declared that all railroad companies must provide separate but equal accommodations for white and black customers. What kind of accommodations, Dominic?
Separate but equal.
What kind, Olivia?
Separate but equal.
What kind, Nate?
Separate but equal.
Thank you, sir. If there's one thing I want you guys, you boys and girls, to take away from this lesson, it is to remember that separate but equal was lawful and legal. Separate but equal, remember that. It's
What
important.
was the court case that said that?
That was Plessy versus Ferguson.
Oh.
Yes.
When
Which we're getting into.
Oh.
That was awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh.
Good job, Olivia.
You're welcome.
Good job.
When did it not become legal? When was it illegal?
Well,
Is it
that's the
still
thing.
legal?
It is not legal anymore.
Okay.
No, those laws have since changed in the 1960s. It's always sort of been part of American society, but I don't think it was until this point that they actually said separate but equal is legal.
Legal.
Yes, sir.
In separate but equal schools, African American schools, were white people allowed to teach? Or was it just strictly black faculty?
Hold that, I don't know. Do you know?
No, I don't. I was just
Oh.
wondering.
Okay. I actually don't know.
Can
Yes,
we
Laura.
Google it right now?
You
Can I use my phone?
One time. Go ahead. Silently.
What am I looking at?
Silently.
Could white teachers
phone
teach
is
in
right.
black schools?
Could white teachers?
Okay. 2 years later, 1892, Homer Plessy, who was 1/8 black. Lauren, I know you're helping, but write this down. Homer Plessy purchased a first-class ticket and sat in a white designated rail car. Alex, what kind of car was this?
White designated.
White designated. Does this remind you of anyone we might have talked about recently? Someone who sat in a
She's a whole white teacher in urban
plate?
school.
Alex?
Rosa Parks.
Yes, thank you for raising your hand.
Tyler.
Exactly. Rosa Parks, great. That was great.
They're just gonna look up
So,
those names.
Plessy was arrested for this and argued that the Separate Car Act violated the 13th and 14th Amendments. So we're gonna get into that in a second. Olivia, do we have a result or
It's just,
an
I
answer?
think that we're gonna have to look it up later, because a lot of what's coming up is just white teachers teaching it to black kids.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Put your phone away. All right, the 13th Amendment.
Wait, can you go back really quick? I missed something.
Yes,
Okay, I got it.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
of course. Okay, 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to the jurisdiction. That's a lot of complicated language. Yeah, Mark.
What does involuntary servitude, duly, whereof, and jurisdiction mean?
The reason I put this up there is because in a few years you all will be in 11th grade. You're going to come across difficult language that you might not understand. This is the kind of document that you will be looking at. So I want to get you a little bit familiar with the language. You don't have to understand it right now, but we're going to break it down, okay? So, what does that even mean? That's Mark, so. Basically, if you are not convicted of a crime and in prison, it is illegal for you to be a slave. That's what the 13th Amendment said.
Are people in prison slaves? That's what it said. That's what it says right there.
Yes.
They work for
I
like
mean-
5 cents an hour, so like,
Do they get paid?
they work like for 5 cents an hour. You wanna work for 5 cents an hour?
Sounds like
No.
slavery with extra steps.
It's different from the slavery we're talking about here.
I don't think so.
We can get into that at a different time. Okay, 14th Amendment. So, again, we're not going to get into this. I just want you all to get used to seeing these kinds of words: privileges, immunities, liberty, jurisdiction. This is all complicated vocab that you're going to come across over the next few years. But because I'm your teacher and I love you, we're going to analyze it. It says that all people born in the U.S. are citizens and cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nate, all people born in the U.S. are what?
I don't know, I wasn't listening.
Okay. You can do better next time. Dom? Any ideas?
I'm sorry if I heard.
There was no,
Damon?
I missed the last word.
All people born in the U.S. are...
I missed the last word.
Ah,
Oh,
there we go.
property.
Citizens. All people born in the U.S. are
Lydia,
citizens.
stop.
Let me write how I write.
Leave her alone.
Loud noises.
Okay, moving on. Let's remember rule number 4. When I talk, you stop talking. May 1896, this is the verdict. Separate but equal is declared constitutional and legal. This is just a newspaper clipping I wanted to show you real quick. This is from a Louisiana newspaper in 1896. After the verdict was handed down, and it just says that, what is it? It just says that it's constitutional. This is hard to read, so we're gonna pass over this for now. Okay, activity time. Flip over your notes, please. On the back here, we have 2 questions. These questions can easily be answered by referring to the notes that you've just taken. If you could just get together with someone next to you, looks like we're all paired up. 2, 2, 2, 2, and then Kiara and Megan in the back. Answer these questions together. Once you're done with that, we're going to debrief. You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Plessy, who was 1A black, sat in the white room. That's the law that they violated. How did they know he was 1A black?
Is that Olivia?
At that point,
Throwing
I
stuff at him?
I didn't have anything in my
It's
hand.
like somebody with like, do you have a pen?
Yeah.
It was Kiara.
I know.
Did they ask him?
Did I
he
throw the
just
pen?
give
The
that
pen is
information
still in
out?
my hand, obviously.
How we doing down here, folks?
Did you get the first one?
Sat in white car.
That's a car.
How did he violate
Thank you.
that? Well, he sat in it. Who shot it?
Are you copying out my answer that I just
I'm not a student. I'm shooting your thing.
How did he?
How did he violate the one who sat in his butt?
Gentlemen, we have answers here, beautiful. Donna, Alex, would you please just share what you have for number one here?
He violated the Separate Car Act, which was a part of the separate but equal ruling.
Yes, exactly. Did everyone hear that?
What happened?
Is that funny?
What happened?
Was that funny what she just said? It was? No, it wasn't really funny. No. Okay. Thank you, Alex. That was wonderful. Okay, Mark?
So, Homer Plessy was 1/8 black,
Yes.
and he was considered black, and he wasn't white,
Yes.
even though only 1/8 of him was black.
Mhm.
How'd they know that? Did they take a 23andMe?
That is exactly what Lauren just asked me. I don't know the answer. Very astute questions. This is all good stuff. I'm glad you all are thinking. I don't know how he's 1/8, but he was. So as ridiculous as that is to believe, you could be the tiniest bit black and still be considered all black. Okay. Thank you for those answered questions. Thank you for everyone for doing the work. Real quick, I think we have time still. Last activity, at the bottom of the page here, I would like you all to draw a picture or write a poem or song about what happened to Homer Plessy on his rail car. You can do this on the opposite side of your papers. Is that a picture of Homer Plessy?
Yes, it is.
Would you like to share it?
This is a picture of Homer Plessy, just so everyone can see.
Where?
Right here, right at the bottom.
I don't think that is.
I think it is.
It's like an
It's
angry-
I agree with
artistic
Olivia. I don't think it is.
interpretation.
It's like an
I
angry
mean, that was
man.
really
I can't see
fast.
it.
That's
Okay.
a penguin.
If you want to
It's
draw a
artistic
picture,
interpretation.
hey, rule number 4. If you want to draw a picture, take some colored pencils. If you'd like to write a little poem or story, song, go ahead and do that. Be creative, be artistic, be wonderful.
I'm always wonderful.
Yes, you are, Olivia. That is why we love you.
It's a perfect artistic representation of Homer Plessy.
You said bro.
I said bro.
What'd you say?
Thank you.
What's in here? You're an African American, it sounds like a receptor.
1 more minute? Okay.
It's a freestyle, I just said.
Okay. Thank you for all for working so
I don't
hard
go to
today.
English class.
That is my lesson.
Yay.